Alright, fellas. Finally hooked on to one of these redfish this morning. I don't want to give him no slack because I normally don't really set the hook in it too deep. But yeah, I'm going to back off the drag a little. Again, I think I want to talk a little bit about the drag. Well, mainly want to talk about my new reel. I took it out yesterday and I caught 2 nice reds on it. But my footage, I might put a clip in here. I hadn't decided. We had a heck of a day. Well, when I say heck of a day, it was I had planned on catching some live mullet, making a video, just leisurely sitting here. It was supposed to be, and it was windy. It was terribly windy, and the tide was up. And but anyway, if I put the clip in here, I don't know. If I do, I apologize for my language. It was everything you could say go wrong. And this guy is not even a keeper. And he's hooked plenty good. I could have horsed him. He might have been barely a keeper, but we'll look. We'll measure this feller. But anyway, they've been a little hard to come by this morning. Well, that rascal is plenty big. He's almost 21 if you bend his tail, and has a pretty spots. But fellers, I got a new reel in case I don't put that in there. It is the Concept A from that 13 Fishing, and so far I'm in love with it. Yesterday was not a good day to really test it as far as throwing it. Well, it was a good day to test it in the wind, and in a 20-mile-an-hour wind, this 1/8 ounce jig I could throw straight into the wind and not backlash. I mean, that's impressive. So far, all I can say about this thing is, if it holds up and continues to fish like it does now for a while, I would say it's well worth it. It's expensive, but you know, so you get what you pay for a lot of times. Well, let's move on. This wind, I already feel it picking up. It's supposed to blow 20 mile an hour today. That was it. That was it. Hey, you gonna run or not? I guess he ain't. Oh, what happened? I have never had that happen before. And on the one that was the most awesome catch ever, one that dropped it and picked it back up, I don't know what happened, guys. I tied a new FG knot on, and it felt like, I think what happened is it wrapped around the tip when I just flipped it in front of him, and there was no drag. And if you don't have no drag on braid, it's no good. Oh man, you want to talk about pain, guys? Y'all might have to come hunt me down in this marsh. I think I have the big one. Y'all probably don't remember Fred Sanford. I'm having the big one. No, man, that hurts. Oh, that would have been so epic. Why is it whenever you have the most epic situation and then it does it? I'm telling you guys, that would have been one for the record books. Nah, not really. I've done that before. I've had fish spit it out like 3 times and then still grab it. But this guy was a big fish. Now I got to figure out, well, I got leader material. Oh, just makes me want to cry, guys. Give me a thumbs up. Make me feel good, because I sure don't feel too good right now. I'm losing that giant redfish. Oh, guys, a lot of people ask me, well, what do you use for leader? Well, I use 30-pound test, and I wasn't real sure because I had to read the spool, because it was something I picked up over at Walmart. And I know a lot of people using that high dollar fluorocarbon and whatever, but I've been using that from Zipco. It's like you get a whole spool of it for like $2. But I have never broke, well, let's don't say never, but very rarely do I ever break the mono leader. I have, when you cut it on an oyster or whatever, or you catch like 50 fish and you don't retie. But if you retie your knot pretty regular, when I say regular, about every 7 or 8 fish, then you're all right. Whoa, that's all I got? I stuff a little in this jar and I poke a hole in the end of it, and I put a little toothpick in it, and so I can pull out a little at a time. And I thought I had more, but that's plenty for one tie. But oh well, I'll go leaderless if I have to. It ain't no big deal. There's no oysters in this set of marshes, but this is valuable time that I could be fishing. And when you're up against the clock with the wind blowing, this is not good. And I got to figure out how to tie this FG knot on the boat, because it is not an easy knot to deal with. You have to have a little pressure against it. So alright guys, I'm going to let y'all go, and I'm going to sit here, probably hold it in my mouth like I normally do, and do the other part of it. So alright guys, guess we'll see y'all in a bit. Oh yeah. Alright guys, sometimes you just get blessed when you think you were something bad going on in life, and you just say, oh man, I hate it, it's happening to me. Well, then something good comes along from it. I know it ain't worth comparing things like that, but I chunked a while ago up there a little ways, and it hooked on the end of back into my string, and I got one crazy backlash. And I'm sitting here fooling around with this backlash, and I've just got it all undone. I looked up in front of me, and y'all seen what I seen. This nice little slot. Well, he's a lower slot, I think, but he's a nice fish though. He will make a great addition to the family. And so I just, at the perfect time, was ready to cast. So we put it in front of his face, and what'd he do? He ate it. Nice. Can't beat a deal like that. But anyway, they say you can't backlash a concept A. Give it to me, because I can do it. I can do it. Oh, fellers. Better get my hand on him. But anyway, he's 21 and a half. Nice. All right. Well, that's number 2 on the keepers. I'm still grieving from that last one. I'm not sure how much of that I'll put in here, if I'll put it in here at all. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, one got away badly. All right, let's quickly move on. Oh, did he get it in his mouth good is the question of the day. Man, he had me turning around. I was coming through here and he blew up right there. And I don't know, maybe if it caught on film, I might pop it in that blow up. And then I said, well, wait a minute. I'm all about drifting downwind right now, but that sounded pretty good. Now, don't you go breaking my rod. I can't get in. What are you doing? Oh, we're testing out them drags on this Concept A. I've got to say, I love the drag on this thing. Right out of the box, you don't have to do a thing to it. It's smooth. Piscifun needs to take a little bit of what they've done. They have basically the same setup inside. I've took it apart. The only difference, well, there's a couple of differences, is the Piscifun, their drag washers are small. And I don't know why their engineer thought that would be a great idea to have a small washer. Anytime you have to turn something small, it's gonna be harder to turn. I mean, I understand they're selling it to bass fishermen where they say, oh, we want more and more power to get them out of the brush, but I'm backing off on this one even, guys, because if he's barely hooked in the edge, he'll tear out. But you got to kind of try to keep him out of the weeds, because if you do, if he gets around the weeds, well, then you might as well not have a drag. But he's a good fish, but I hate to lose him because of me horsing him. Plus, I want to talk a little more about this reel. Yeah, I took it all apart right away before I ever got a chance to fish with it. I wasn't going to do it, but the first day I got it, it was kind of windy, and I said, I can't go fishing, so let me just look in it. I'm not going to oil it. I'm not going to grease it. I'm just gonna look at everything, see how it's built, because I bought it from the Academy, and I asked them there, I said, if it don't perform the way I want it to, can I bring it back? They said, oh yeah, as long as you got your receipt, bring it back. So it's still on loan, the way I look at it, unless it, for a little while. I don't think you can keep it forever, but it's only been a couple of days. But so far, there's no reason for me to want to take it back. It is performing perfect. I love it. So I know Mark made a video on this reel. Ooh, he is not hooked in a good position. He may fall off after all that. But we got the fight anyway. Feller, I got a dip net. Can you believe it, on the boat? But it's really not set up for dipping up fish. I thought I might dip up a crab or two. Come here, feller. Now he's got it kind of around his gill. Oh, but anyways, yeah, he done a good job of reviewing this reel. He took a little time, and it was like, oh, it actually popped through. Now we're through and through. One of these days, I'm gonna figure out a way to put me a paddle holder on this thing. Just when you got to blow up one, you just have a few points you can put stuff on. Hey feller, I'm not even gonna put no bind on you. I'm just gonna pull you up. Yeah, you are a nice fish. 26 inches. Well, you sure was making a lot of noise up here, fella. But yeah, I took it all apart. I gotta say, the parts look pretty good inside. It has a lot of aluminum or aluminium, depending on what side of the pond you're from. But anyway, like the ring gear is aluminum. There's a nut that tightens down the drag, and it is aluminum. Now, I don't know, I've never been a big fan of screwing aluminum onto brass or copper for sure. I know brass has a little copper in it. And they normally, electrolysis will occur, but they probably have it figured out to where they put a high amount of zinc in that aluminum so it doesn't happen. We'll see over time. But it is a reel that I will be taking more care of because it is so expensive. And I know a lot of you guys say, well, $180 is not expensive. I got one that costs $400. Well, that's good. I'm glad you got one for $400. But this one is more than I really need, because my casts are really short. I just wanted something that was going to be smooth and quiet. I know it's a PC Fun. They're smooth right out of the box, but just after a couple of trips, they put really kind of puny bearings in there, and they're so cheap you can't afford to buy new bearings. It just don't work out. So I got several of them, which would work in a bind, but I am loving this. Alright guys, we can't talk forever on one tiny little fish, but I'm gonna move on to the next one. Just doing it for fun, but there's one up here. Not super big though. Not super big, but hey, he had a friend. Ooh, ow, ouch. Dang. He nailed the bottom of this board. His friend did. Hey, this guy's ripping some line. So, he's worth something. Of course, I don't keep it tight, guys. You know me. I learned my lesson. Y'all might have to fast forward when I hook a fish if y'all don't want to watch me fight him, but I have lost too many, and it's bad practice to have them too tight in this open water. Now I understand if you're in junk, you better not mess around with him, but if you have the room, you keep it loose, because at least till you get an eyeball on how it's hooked. If it's through and through, then you can go ahead and pour the coals on to him on them last few runs. But I can tell you, sometime it's been 3 or 4 in one day that run for about 20 yards and then come loose, and I know what's happening. It just tears out. It just tears out, and if I'd have been gentle with them, I'd have got them in. And if you guys are in a lot of scattered fish where you don't get very many opportunities, you certainly don't want to horse it. Plus, hey, this is the fun part of the yeah, I'm looking at him. He looks hooked really good. I don't think I could have horsed him in. I don't see it really. It looks like it was not just on the edge. Yeah, see, he was hooked so good. He had that plumb through the top of his mouth. He was not coming off. Never. It was past the barb and everything. All right, we got a good solid 23. Smile for the camera. You look surprised, like I didn't even know that you was gonna be trying to catch me today. Easy, guy, I'm gonna let you go. You're a rare thing for me to let you go. Here, have some seaweed. All right, that was a lot of fun, guys. What we got on our I don't know if I tell y'all, but you know I fish with about the same thing all the time, so it's like I don't know if I have to tell you. Most of you guys know. Fisherman number 24, saltwater curly tail from H&H.